Every day you wake up with two choices: repeat yesterday or reshape tomorrow. And the difference, it's in your habits. Now, I'm not talking about a complete life overhaul. I'm talking about the small, daily choices that build unstoppable women. Choices that look simple but carry serious power. Today, I'm giving you 10 daily habits every woman must master. Because these habits, they don't just change your routine, they change your results. You ever notice how chaotic mornings can feel? You wake up, you're already 10 steps behind. The phone's buzzing, your brain's racing, and before you've had a chance to breathe, the day has hijacked you. It's like waking up in the middle of a fire drill, no plan, just reacting. And the truth is, if you don't own your morning will own you. Now, I'm not talking about becoming a 5am guru overnight. This isn't about perfection, it's about positioning. Because how you start is how you show up. When you roll out of bed and immediately jump into someone else's agenda, texts, emails, notifications, you're teaching your brain that you're not in control, you're responding, not leading. And that's a dangerous pattern to normalize. So what does owning your morning really mean? It means claiming the first part of your day for you before the world starts making withdrawals. And this doesn't require an hour of silence and green juice, unless that's your thing. It could be as simple as staying off your phone for the first 15 minutes, taking 3 deep breaths before your feet hit the floor, saying something kind to yourself out loud, even if it feels awkward. It could be opening a journal, writing one sentence off. Here's what I need today. It's about choosing presence before pressure, because women, especially, are conditioned to jump into care mode the moment they open their eyes. Kids, partners, coworkers, responsibilities. We pour from a cup that we haven't even filled yet, and then wonder why by noon we feel depleted, impatient, irritable. You can't pour what you don't own. That's why reclaiming your morning matters. Now, let me be clear. This isn't about adding more to your plate. It's about starting from a plate that's already grounded. And what grounds you will be different than what grounds me. Maybe it's prayer. Maybe it's stretching. Maybe it's repeating an affirmation until you believe it. Maybe it's doing absolutely nothing for 5 minutes. Whatever it is, the key is that it's intentional, not reactive, intentional. Because here's the secret no one tells you. Your energy doesn't come from coffee. It comes from clarity, and clarity comes from stillness. It comes from carving out just enough space in the morning to ask yourself, what matters most today? Not what do I have to do, but who do I want to be while I do it? That question changes everything. When you own your morning, you walk into the rest of your day with your shoulders back and your eyes up. You're less shaken by other people's moods and more grounded in your own values. You respond instead of reacting. You feel more prepared, even if your to-do list hasn't changed, because you've changed. And on the days it doesn't go perfectly, because life happens, you don't beat yourself up. You just try again tomorrow. That's the beauty of daily habits. You don't need a perfect record. You need a consistent intention. So if there's one thing you take from this entire message today, let it be this: the first voice you hear in the morning should be yours, not a notification, not a demand, not a crisis. Yours, a voice that says, I'm here, I'm present, and I've got this. Because how you start your day is how you set your life. Let me ask you something. If your best friend came to you feeling overwhelmed, doubting herself, second-guessing every decision, what would you say to her? You'd probably tell her to breathe, remind her of who she is, speak life into her. Now think about the way you speak to yourself when you're going through that exact same thing. Is it the same voice? Or is it harsher, colder, maybe even cruel? Most of us talk to ourselves in ways we would never talk to someone we care about. We call ourselves names under our breath. We replay our mistakes like a broken record. We minimize our wins and magnify our flaws. And we do it so automatically that we don't even notice the damage it's doing. But here's the truth. The most powerful voice in your life isn't from the outside. It's the one that lives in your head. That voice, it either builds you or breaks you. You can have the most supportive partner, a circle of amazing friends, a boss who believes in you. But if your inner dialogue is toxic, none of that sticks. It's like pouring water into a cup with holes. You don't hold the encouragement because deep down, you've trained yourself not to believe it. That's why speaking to yourself like someone you respect isn't just some fluffy self-help advice. It's foundational. It's identity work. Respect doesn't mean lying to yourself. It means telling the truth in a way that builds, not breaks. Instead of, I'm such a failure, Maybe it's, that didn't go the way I wanted, but I'm learning. Instead of, I always mess this up, try. This is hard, but I'm growing. You don't have to be fake. You just have to be faithful to yourself. You have to remember your brain is always listening. And every word you say to yourself is a seed. You plant, I'm not good enough, and guess what grows? Insecurity, you plant, I can't do this, and fear starts taking root. But if you start planting truth, even if it feels small or awkward at first, over time, it creates something steady, something strong, a mindset that doesn't shake every time life does. This is especially important for women because society already hands you a mirror filled with criticism. You're told to be softer, but not too soft, ambitious, but not too much, confident, but never intimidating. It's exhausting. So if the world is already trying to shrink you, the as last thing you need is to echo that in your own head. Your mind should be a safe place, not your battleground. And I get it. Changing that internal voice takes practice. You've been talking to yourself this way for years, maybe decades. But the good news is it's just a habit, and habits can change. You start by noticing. You catch yourself in that harsh moment, and instead of spiraling, you pause, you breathe, you reframe. Not perfectly, just consistently. And hear me when I say this, speaking to yourself with respect doesn't mean you never hold yourself accountable. It means you do it from love, not punishment. You correct yourself the way you'd correct someone you care about, with compassion. Because lasting change doesn't come from shame. It comes from grace. Every single day, you're reinforcing your identity through your words. That voice inside, whether it's kind or critical, is shaping who you believe you are. So if you want to start showing up differently out there, you've got to start talking differently in here, inside, in your mind. That's where the real shift happens. Because confidence doesn't start on the outside. It starts in how you speak to yourself when no one else is listening, and you deserve to hear a voice that sounds like belief. Let's talk about movement, not workouts, not six packs, not chasing the perfect body. I'm talking about moving your body daily, even when you don't feel like it, not for how it makes you look, but for how it makes you alive. Because here's the truth, movement is not just physical. It's emotional, mental, and spiritual. It's not about hitting the gym every morning at 5 a.m. or running 10 miles a week. It's about choosing to move forward when everything in you wants to shut down. It's about proving to yourself one small motion at a time that you're still here and you still have a say in how your day unfolds. You don't have to feel motivated to move. That's the myth. People think motivation is the starter. It's not. Movement is. Motivation comes after you move. You walk for 5 minutes. Suddenly your brain starts clearing. You stretch your arms and you feel tension you didn't even realize you were carrying begin to release. That's not just exercise. That's ownership. So when I say move daily, I'm not saying become a fitness influencer. I'm saying get into the habit of checking in with your body and saying, what do you need right now? And then listening. Maybe it's a walk outside. Maybe it's dancing to one song in your kitchen. Maybe it's lying on the floor and stretching your back because you've been hunched over all day. It doesn't have to be loud or public or impressive. It just has to be intentional. And I know there are days you don't want to. Days when your body feels heavy or your heart feels tired. That's exactly why you do it. Because when your body moves, your mind follows. Movement shakes things loose. It gets you unstuck. Some of the most important breakthroughs I've had didn't come when I was journaling or talking to someone. They came on a walk. In silence, in motion. Women carry so much emotionally, mentally, physically. We carry stress in our shoulders, anxiety in our stomachs, tension in our jaws. We don't always get to put those weights down, but movement gives us a way to shift them, to breathe through them, to let some of it go. And let's be honest, we live in a world that sells rest as laziness and movement as punishment. No wonder we feel disconnected from our own bodies. But I want you to hear this. Your body isn't your enemy. It's not a project. It's a partner. It wants to work with you, not against you. And daily movement is one way to restore that relationship. It's how you say, I see you. I'm not abandoning you today. And the beautiful part, you don't need equipment. You don't need a plan. You don't even need a goal. You just need to move consistently, with grace, with presence. Not to fix yourself, but to fuel yourself. Because when you start moving daily, even in small ways, your energy changes, your posture changes, you stop dragging yourself through the day and start carrying yourself through it. You become more grounded, more alert, more patient with others, and with yourself. It doesn't have to be intense to be effective. What matters is the message you're sending to your own nervous system. We're not stuck. We're not frozen. We're still moving, even if it's slow, even if it's only for a few minutes. Some days you'll move with strength. Other days you'll move with struggle. Both are valid. Both are brave, because the goal isn't perfection. It's consistency. And over time, those tiny daily choices stack up, not just in your body, but in your mindset. You begin to trust yourself more. You begin to feel more capable, more present, more alive. So even on the days when you don't feel like it, especially on those days, move gently, intentionally, because forward is forward, even if it's just one step. And sometimes one step is all it takes to change the direction of your entire day. Let's talk about something most of us struggle with: saying no. Not just the word itself, but the act of protecting our time, energy, and peace. Because every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. And often that something else is you. We live in a culture that celebrates hustle and selflessness, especially for women. Say yes, be helpful, stay available, be everything to everyone. But let me ask you, when's the last time you said yes and immediately felt the weight of regret settle in your chest? That tight feeling that says, I should have listened to myself. That's not just discomfort. That's your boundary trying to get your attention. Every yes is an agreement. And if you're not careful, you'll find yourself agreeing to things that pull you away from your purpose, your priorities, and your peace. It starts small. You say yes to an extra meeting, to a favor that drains you, to an event you don't want to attend. And before long, you're wondering why you feel overwhelmed, resentful, even burned out. It's not always the big things that break us. It's the constant yes to things that aren't ours to carry. Saying no doesn't make you rude. It makes you responsible for your time, your well-being, your energy. Saying no is not rejection, it's redirection. Yeah. It's saying, that's not for me right now, or I'm not available for that, or even just, no, thank you. Period. No explanation required. You don't owe everyone access to you. Just because I can do something doesn't mean you have should. Just because someone asks nicely doesn't mean it aligns with what you need. We have to stop confusing